Humans tend to overestimate how much we actually know about the world's deep waters, and we often underestimate the impact our pollution has on these delicate ecosystems. The result? Some truly bizarre and mutated creatures. From fish with human-like teeth to a mutant creature hunting sharks, here are 20 mutant fish that are making waves in waters across the globe. Number 20. A bizarre fish with freakishly human-like teeth. A crazy fish with teeth that seemed frighteningly human has been nicknamed the testicle eater, after its creator uploaded a picture of the bizarre critter on the internet. According to local reports, the unusual fish was captured in a village in northern Peru, and its species has not yet been identified. Researchers on social media were also very perplexed, while others speculated that the fish's odd chompers were a consequence of pollution. In an irrigation canal near where he and his colleagues work, farmer Jorge Chavez was fishing with a net and caught what seemed to be a strange fish. The fish is said to weigh just under 5 kilograms, and it seemed to have a row of teeth along its bottom jaw that bears a terrifying similarity to human molars and incisors. Although the fisherman has chosen to keep the unusual fish and intends to eat it with his family, he's still waiting to hear back from authorities on whether or not the odd-looking thing is harmful to consume, which is probably a really smart idea, and pretty brave if you ask me. Eating a fish that looks like that. Number 19. Fish with 2 jaws caught in New York. A two-headed lake trout may seem like a legendary aquatic monster, but the species is very real and can be found in New York's Lake Ontario. Debbie Geddes, the lady who caught the fish, was fishing on Lake Champlain near the New York-Vermont border when she caught the trout with 2 mouths, which she then released back into the water. The local competition fishing team, Naughty Boys Fishing, posted a picture of the strange fish on Facebook, which both horrified and perplexed their followers on social media. It seems that 2-mouthed fish are not totally unheard of, as several commentators have contributed their own pictures of similar creatures. While some individuals claim to have seen 2-headed fish previously, others said that the fish in the picture did not have 2 mouths and seemed to have just been injured. Among the hypotheses put forward were those stating that the mutation may have been produced by a birth defect or by environmental contamination. In this fish, however, it seems that the skin and muscle that covers the arches and links them to the lower jaws has been destroyed, exposing the jawbones, which may have occurred as a result of a congenital abnormality or, more likely, an injury at some point in its life. The actual reason may be something a bit more mundane: torn muscle and skin. Number 18. Bizarre dragon-like sea creature. The trippy sea beast has been dubbed the most beautiful killer in the water, due to its brilliant blue color and potentially lethal sting. It washed up on a beach in Africa in pretty large numbers a while back. An elderly woman walking along Fish Hook Beach in South Africa discovered the animals, which were known as blue dragons. The beach is located near Cape Town and is popular with tourists. Known by the scientific name Glaucus atlanticus, the sea slug preys on the lethal Portuguese man-o' war, as well as other poisonous marine creatures. Although it is a remarkable organism, it's able to take stinging cells from its prey and then store them in concentrated quantities. This gives the slug an incredibly powerful sting compared to its prey. Nausea, discomfort, vomiting, and severe allergic contact dermatitis are all common symptoms of a blue dragon sting, according to the World Health Organization. Fortunately for Maria Wagner, who discovered the animals, instinct urged her to maintain her distance, and she was able to avoid harming them as well as herself. There was also no question about whether the animals were consuming poison from their victims, as the grandmother discovered proof of this only a few yards down the beach from where she lived, in the form of a very dead jellyfish. Well, if you weren't totally freaked out about going into big bodies of water, I bet you are now. Number 17. Giant catfish in Chernobyl's cooling pond. When someone is evaluating whether or not a fish has been adversely affected by radiation, the general health of the animal is the first thing they look at. Having a big and in-command fish requires a great deal of energy, which is why sick fish virtually never achieve their full development potential. The Wells catfish is one of the heavy inhabitants of the Chernobyl pond and is a species known to grow to enormous sizes throughout most of its habitat. A simple Google search will even bring up tales of 800-pound catches. They are, in fact, so large that they're considered to be living fossils, and while these are usually exaggerations, it's entirely possible for a Wells to grow to 350 pounds in weight under the right circumstances. Dr. Timothy Masu, a radiation specialist at the University of South Carolina, explains that only a small number of mutations result in abnormally large size. That is to say, they would develop less effectively, be less capable of collecting food, and tend to have shorter lives than they should. So I guess this little fishy guy isn't really mutated after all. Number 16. Two-headed dolphin found on Turkey Beach. If there had to be some kind of mutated fish, we would all want it to be dolphins, right? I mean, at least then it would be kind of cute, but it's still pretty horrifying nonetheless. An unusually large two-headed dolphin was washed ashore on a beach in western Turkey, according to local media reports. Sugral Matan, A gym instructor who was on vacation in the region found the bones of a conjoined dolphin calf on a beach in Dikili, near the Aegean city of Izmir. A marine scientist at Akdeniz University stated that the dolphin was an uncommon occurrence comparable to conjoined twins. The scientist also went on to dismiss claims in the media that stated his institution in Turkey was examining the remains. He said that the institution would be delighted to exhibit them, but it was still unclear where the dolphin's bones have been taken, and therefore he must first research those claims. Fishermen working in the Florida Keys also discovered a two-headed shark earlier that same year. Following the capture and opening of a bull shark, they discovered 2 living fetuses within, one of which had 2 heads, leading to the discovery of the finding. Number 15. Mutant fish with 2 mouths. Russian fishermen captured a mutant fish with 2 jaws, and the creature would later be identified as an orca. When the fishermen captured the strange marine monster, which also had a strange hook-shaped tail, they were a little taken aback by its appearance. The monster was captured by fishermen off the shore of Primorsky Krai on Russia's southeastern coast. The fish's bizarre structure, with a second mouth protruding from its neck, left scientists and locals alike baffled, wondering if this was some unknown deep-sea species. Rumors spread quickly in the community, with some claiming it was an omen of environmental issues lurking below the surface. The double-jawed feature sparked a debate, with theories ranging from natural mutation to pollution-related deformities. Others believed the fish might have been exposed to chemicals or contaminants that led to such an unusual formation. While one of its mouths seemed to be on the face, the other appeared to be on the neck. Apparently, the strange bulb on top of its head, filled with a clear liquid, is believed to be its eggs. It was discovered at an undisclosed location, and whether the animal was alive or dead when the footage was captured is still unknown. The video was uploaded onto the internet, and viewers were eager to point out the strange vertebrae in the footage. One online user, on the other hand, stated that the nuclear explosion at the Fukushima power plant was to blame for the mutation. Nobody knows what actually caused the fish to become mutated, or what breed it belongs to at this time. Number 14. Albino Cyclops shark fetus shocks fishermen and scientists. In 2019, a man named Enrique Lucero Leon captured a pregnant dusky shark off Cerralvo Island in the Gulf of California. When Leon cut up his catch, he discovered a very strange-looking embryo, as well as 9 other shark babies inside. The 22-inch-long shark embryo had a single functional eye in the front of its skull, which is the major characteristic of cyclopia, a congenital disease that affects a variety of animals as well as humans. It is more commonly known as being a cyclops. These sorts of mutations are thought to be linked to the heavy pollution in the waters nearby. Several scientists obtained permission from Leon to borrow the shark for a study they were conducting after hearing about the Cyclops shark on Facebook. The experts then examined the fetus using X-rays, while also digging through older studies on cyclopia in other species to confirm that the discovery really was a Cyclops shark. The fact that no Cyclops sharks have been found outside the womb indicates that they don't live very long in the wild. The discovery of such a unique specimen shows that scientists still have a lot to learn about the one-eyed animals of the world. Number 13. Two-headed bull shark discovered in the Gulf of Mexico. Sharktopus and Dino shark may be Hollywood creations, but scientists from the Florida Keys Community College say a two-headed bull shark discovered in the Gulf of Mexico is also very, very real. The shark, found in April 2011, is the first of its type and is a single shark with 2 heads, not conjoined twins. When a fisherman opened the uterus of an adult shark, he discovered the two-headed shark. This discovery sent waves through the scientific community, as two-headed animals are rarely seen, especially in larger species like sharks. Researchers were particularly interested in how the shark's dual brain structures might have impacted its coordination and ability to swim. Some speculated that even if it had survived, the 2 heads would have created confusion, making it difficult for the shark to hunt or avoid predators effectively. Such anomalies, while fascinating, highlight the vulnerability of animals to environmental stressors, such as pollutants in their habitats. It died soon after and was taken to the university's marine science department. 2 separate heads, hearts, and stomachs were found, with the remainder of the body coming together at the rear to create a single tail. Animals with anomalies like this typically die soon after birth, and the two-headed bull shark had little chance of survival in the wild. Blue sharks and taupe sharks, as well as lizards and snakes, have also been born with 2 heads. Heavy mutations like these point to some difficult changes ahead for wildlife in the area, meaning that all that fun pollution really is causing all of these changes. Number 12. Mutant fish with pigeon-shaped head. Now, this one's pretty outrageous, but apparently some fishermen in China pulled this fish out of the sea and thought it had a pigeon attached to its head. This isn't exactly the case, but it really does look like that, doesn't it? These crazy conjectures have been laid to rest by specialists who have proposed a more probable explanation. Andrew Cossins, an animal physiologist at the University of Liverpool, has studied carps such as this and offers a solution. To put it simply, the creature's glossy dome and beaked, pigeon-like look may most likely be attributed to abnormal cell development. In the end, it's difficult to pinpoint the exact cause of such a growth on its skull. Cossins warned that it's impossible to identify the cause of the abnormality from a photograph or even by looking at the body. However, he believes it is fair to suppose that the cause was either a sequence of genetic mutations or environmental contamination in the form of chemical pollutants in the water that may have disturbed the fish's normal cell development. Number 11. Mutant creature pulled from a Russian river. When fishermen captured the strange mutant-looking black fish with a terrifying face and an eel-like body, they were left reeling. It was captured by fishermen using earthworms in the Kama River in central Russia's Udmurt Republic. Though the creature's identity remains a mystery, some fishermen claim it's a mutant freshwater fish, while others say it's a piranha. Its slick, dark scales glistened ominously in the sunlight, adding to its alien-like appearance as it writhed on the ground. Locals who saw the creature were both horrified and intrigued, with some speculating it might be the result of pollution in the river. Some older fishermen even shared legends of strange beasts in these waters, adding to the eerie fascination surrounding the catch. The unusual body shape and twisted jaws left many thinking this might be an undiscovered species altogether. When its hunters dragged it out of the water, the monster, which was held up against the fisherman's arm and seemed to be at least 2 feet long, totally baffled everyone. They suspected it was a mutated version of the Chinese sleeper, commonly known as the Amur sleeper, a freshwater fish native to Eastern Asia's Amur River basin. When the species was originally brought to Russia in the 1940s, people actually kept them as pets. However, when they became too large for their tanks, some owners are said to have flushed them into rivers and local sewage systems. Chinese sleepers have managed to live and increase in numbers by breeding in Russia's numerous water reservoirs. However, many individuals online disagreed with the fishermen, claiming that the strange monster was either a piranha or a mutant European eel. It was never disclosed what happened to the odd monster after that, nor was it clearly stated what exactly the fish was. Number 10. Mutant dragonfish. Alexei Volkov captured 2 terrifying underwater dragons with horrific features, sharp fangs, and even a bunch of horns. The fisherman caught this strange thing in Siberia's river Irtysh and was very perplexed by the animal's apparent mutations. Volkov even ate the possibly radioactive pike against all of his friends' caution and still had no adverse health consequences. He dried and preserved the fish heads, which he keeps in his garage, and it all has the local authorities wondering if this is the cause of the infant sickness in the area. Locals believe that radioactive debris from space rockets launched by Kazakhstan's Cosmodrome may be to blame. Others believe the strange fish in the river, a renowned pike river for fishermen, are the result of pollution and possibly radioactive contamination. A decommissioned zirconium factory is also near where the fish have been found, so this is not too far-fetched of an idea. The Kazakh government is currently leasing the Cosmodrome, the world's first and largest operational space launch site, to Russia until the year 2050. Russia's space program routinely launches commercial, military, and scientific missions from the site under the leadership of Vladimir Putin. The effect of launch-stage rocket debris on the Omsk area has been a source of concern for years. Number 9. The Dodgiest-looking creature. It appears that the blobfish is no longer the king of the ugly fish of the world. We now have this unidentified, freaky-looking thing. Fishermen in Thailand have found the most bizarre-looking creature to emerge from the sea. The fish, which has needle-shaped fangs, is shown flopping about in the video that was shot from a fishing boat. Its body seems almost translucent, adding to its ghostly, unsettling appearance as it twists and writhes on the deck. Some viewers noted that its eyes appeared cloudy, possibly due to the sudden exposure to light after being hauled up from the deep. The creature's spiky fangs glistened under the light, creating an image straight out of a horror movie. Even the fishermen, who are used to strange finds, seemed visibly disturbed by its strange look. And because of those startling fangs, I'm fairly sure that this will inspire many different crazy monsters in upcoming films, and I'm sure it will inspire some serious nightmares for that matter. I know for sure that I'll be seeing this little freaky boy in my dreams tonight. The deep-sea fish is most likely a type of eel, which is widespread in the depths off the shores of Eastern Asia and has a very pale, eel-shaped body and tiny eyes. Though this is, of course, still speculation. And as for how the creature came to be, well, let's just identify this weird thing first and then see if we can blame pollution or not. Number 8. Blinky the three-eyed fish. Now, if you're a fan of The Simpsons, you're probably familiar with Blinky, the three-eyed fish that was discovered near the nuclear facility where Homer Simpson works. Fishermen in Cordoba, Argentina, have captured a three-eyed wolffish in a reservoir supplied by a nearby nuclear power plant, proving once again that The Simpsons were correct in predicting the future. This discovery has raised significant concerns among locals, who fear the fish might be a warning sign of deeper environmental hazards. It's unsettling to think that prolonged exposure to radioactive materials could cause such visible mutations in wildlife. Researchers are now investigating if other species in the area show similar mutations, which could indicate a widespread issue. Seeing as reality has once again imitated cartoons, it seems that the discovery of this fish will also severely impede the plant owner's run for local government. People who fish in the area have become more concerned that there may be some kind of pollution that caused this dangerous mutation. Maybe it's just all that nuclear waste. If this isn't proof that we seriously need to start regulating our waste output, then I have no idea what to tell you. Number 7. Mutant Striped Bass. This mutant fish was taken on a 40-foot boat called Real-Time, which is currently operating out of Turkey Point Marina in Edgewater, Maryland. The fishermen were live-lining when they caught the deformed rockfish, which had no visible injuries and seemed to have grown naturally, more or less, into this shape. Unlike the intersex largemouth bass discovered in the Potomac, which was blamed on endocrine-blocking toxins, this anomaly is thought to be a naturally occurring mutation and not caused by anything extreme like swimming near the former Allied chemical plant site. This particular mutation is also not uncommon. Researchers refer to fish with this look as pug-nose striped bass because they're often seen in the waters nearby. The occurrence isn't unique to the Chesapeake Bay, as pug-nose stripers have also been recorded in Long Island Sound. What's strange about this instance is that the fish seems to have flourished despite a significant alteration. Normally, the pug-nose deformity isn't as severe as it was with this fish, which had a prominently forward-jutting lower jaw. Despite all this, it does seem reasonably well-fed and robust in the photo, and the fishermen claim that it attacked hard and battled fiercely when it ate the live bait. No matter the case, this thing does look pretty fierce, so I can only imagine the fight it put up. Number 6. Fisherman catches alien-like fish. When a teenage angler went out to catch some halibut, he received the shock of his life when an alien-like fish grabbed his bait. When Oscar Lundahl, age 19, spotted the strange-looking species with bulbous eyes on the end of his line, he almost leapt out of his fishing boat. The specimen is what's called a ratfish, whose Latin name is something I'm not going to attempt to pronounce. It's appropriately drawn from a Greek mythology creature with a lion's head and a dragon's tail. The fish, which is a 300-million-year-old cousin of the shark, according to science, lives in deep water and is very seldom captured. Despite the fact that ratfish are harmless to people and feed on crustaceans like crabs and sea snails, their peculiar look is enough to give any fisherman worth his salt the creeps. Their enormous eyes are said to have been designed to help them see in such low light. Oscar was fishing for blue halibut when he accidentally snagged a ratfish off the coast of Norway. He was fishing in 2,600 feet of water with 4 hooks on his line and mackerel as bait. When he caught the ratfish, he had 4 whole baits on the hook. Unfortunately, the ratfish did not survive being pulled up out of the water, owing to the abrupt shift in pressure. So, Oscar brought it home and pan-fried fillets of it in butter. Delicious. Number 5. Giant mutant wolffish. Sometimes these mutations really do happen because of nuclear fallout, but other times it's much harder to distinguish. On Twitter, this strange-looking Japanese wolffish actually gained a small following. However, when inquisitive responses gave way to damaging accusations that its unusual look was the consequence of radiation from the Fukushima catastrophe, the tide quickly shifted. In the end, the fish was not a radioactive specimen. It was a Bering wolffish, which can be found off the coast of Hokkaido, Japan's northernmost island. It does have the appearance of a monster crossed with a cranky grandfather or something like that, though. Am I right? When the word of the fish's alleged contamination spread, no one was more upset than Hiroshi Hirosaka, a writer and researcher who spends his life in pursuit of strange-looking animals. Hirosaka has a bachelor's degree in marine biology and a master's degree in ecological sciences and began writing about all the strange and unusual creatures he stumbled across, which quickly evolved into a full-time job. He's very passionate about bringing attention to rare animals, and he said that, in order to better understand them, he captures, studies, and eats the animals he catches. In Japan, as across Asia, there's long been a history of consuming things that would be considered strange in the West, like insects and reptiles. In Japan, he's received no complaints for consuming rare species thus far, which includes this giant wolffish. Number 4. A mystery monster fish. Locals living around Lake Krugo in Siberia were frightened of the terrifying monster, which had a strong, thick tail, rows of sharp fangs, and powerful jaws. Some speculated that it was a mutant created when a chemical plant discharged radioactive waste into the lake, according to reports from the Tomsk Oblast area. It's also said to have attempted to attack several individuals who hoped to get a close look at the strange creature. When the fishermen finally pulled it out of the water, the beast flailed wildly, revealing its razor-sharp teeth and muscular body built for ambush. Locals whispered that this creature had haunted the lake for years, feeding on unsuspecting fish and occasionally frightening fishermen. Its aggressive behavior on land, thrashing and snapping, only fueled the rumors that it was a mutated predator unlike any they'd encountered. Though the mystery seemed solved when experts identified it, some locals still believed the creature was influenced by the lake's polluted waters. Fishermen finally caught the 4-foot monster, and it appeared even more frightening on land. In video footage, the fish can be seen biting down on a stick held out by one of the fishermen as it rides on the grass. It seems to be a mutant hybrid with the head of a gigantic piranha and the body of a cod-like fish called a burbot. According to viewers of the video, it was subsequently identified as a wolf fish, a bottom-feeding predator found in the icy waters of the Arctic. The local fishing and hunting agency stated that the mutant fish was nothing but a renowned northern wolf fish. The northern wolf fish is a threatened species in Canada, where Inuit fishermen refer to it as the old ladyfish because of its unattractive appearance. Number 3. Bizarre 4-foot mutant fluorescent fish spotted in lake. Late one night, someone unknown videotaped an enormous bright blue monster swimming in a lake. Then, they uploaded the video to a conspiracy theorist's YouTube channel. Many viewers commented, asking whether it was a monster, perhaps a peacock, or maybe some kind of remote-controlled fish. A couple of other anglers didn't seem too concerned about the footage. In Gaston County, North Carolina, this jaw-dropping video was uploaded on YouTube, showing what seems to be a brilliantly colored 4-foot creature near the surface of the lake. It sparked a pretty fierce debate among the commentators. Since no one in the comments section had seen anything like it before, no real conclusions were reached. The video found its way into the hands of some curious scientists who weighed in with their thoughts. Gabriella Hogue, collections manager at the North Carolina Museum of Natural Sciences, later identified the organism. She said the bright blue fish was either a carp or a koi. Well, thanks for the input, Gabriella, but I think I'm going to stick with my lake monster theory myself. Number 2. A huge, strange-looking fish washed up on a California beach. This 7-foot fish washed ashore at the Coal Oil Point Reserve, which is owned by the University of California. Researchers first believed it was a different, more common species of sunfish, until someone uploaded pictures of it on a nature website. Then, specialists chimed in to confirm their suspicions. What happened after that, though, took academics from California to Australia and New Zealand by surprise. They discovered they had never seen this animal in North America before. It's referred to as the hoodwinker sunfish. According to scientists, there are 5 distinct species of saltwater sunfish, each of which originates in a distinct location. Tropic waters are preferred by one, subtropical by another, and temperate waters are preferred by the hoodwinker. No one knows if this lone fish ventured so far from its home on its own, or if it's part of a hoodwinking population in North America that's yet to be discovered. A researcher said she intends to compare a genetic sample of the hoodwinker found in California with samples she's collected from Australia and her own country. It's not unusual for sunfish to travel considerable distances. In any case, this is one big old fish to find washed up on the shore. Now it's time for today's topic. Off the coast of Baja California, a group of Mexican fishermen had set out on what they thought would be a typical day of shark fishing. The waters were known for great whites, and the crew was accustomed to handling large, powerful creatures. But this day would be anything but ordinary. As they hauled in a massive great white, their lines suddenly went taut, pulling with a force they had never felt before. The shark, struggling violently, was being dragged back into the depths by something even larger and stronger. In a chaotic scramble, the fishermen leaned over the side to catch a glimpse of what was happening. Their eyes widened in horror as a colossal, squid-like creature emerged from the depths, its massive tentacles wrapped tightly around the shark. The creature's grip was unyielding, pulling the great white into its deadly embrace. Suckers the size of dinner plates clung to the shark's body, and with a powerful yank, it submerged, dragging the shark, and nearly their boat, down with it. The fishermen were left speechless, staring at the spot where the struggle had unfolded. They knew stories of mysterious giants in the deep, but seeing one in action was terrifying. Experts later speculated it could be a giant squid or an undiscovered species, reminding them of the mysteries lurking beneath the ocean's surface. Number 1. Ugly frowning human-like fish. This ugly, humanoid-looking fish was captured off the shores of Thailand and is known only as the pale fish. It was captured by fisherman Prasart Shakul, who described it as having huge human lips and bulging blue eyes. The monster seemed to have a startled face when caught, which added to its overall creepiness. coming in at 2.7 kilograms and measuring 42 centimeters in length. It even broke a record. The creature, according to the fisherman, had died by the time he returned it to the shore. Shakul was apparently about to throw the fish and everything else back into the water, but curiosity got the better of him. So, he brought it ashore and sought knowledge from the elders of the village, who also had no idea what it was. Shakul was later visited by a local marine center who examined the fish, leading them to believe that it's a polychorus fish. Polychorus bury their heads in the sand with their jaws open to capture small fish, which would explain the horrific look. Shakul, however, surrendered the fish to the wildlife center, afraid it would bring him bad luck. And to be honest, considering the look of the thing, that's totally reasonable. Those were some seriously nightmare-inducing creatures. Which one creeped you out the most? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to check out the other cool videos popping up on your screen. Catch you next time.